Hi, my name is Matt Numrich. In this video, we're going to cover the straight blast. Now, the straight blast you might have heard of in previous kinds of videos that you might have seen online. The straight blast is probably most associated with Bruce Lee. I want to go ahead and I want to take this video to break it on down, and not only talk about what makes up the straight blast, how can we do the straight blast, but also how it applies in real life as well. Let's go ahead and let's talk about what the straight blast is. In its essence, the straight blast is just throwing several punches right down someone's center line. The goal of that is to put as much pressure and as hurt on them as possible. And in my mind, the goal is to either inflict enough damage so we can get out of the situation, or we inflict as much damage as we can to go ahead and to get in close quarters and start using those heavy artillery tools like your elbows, knees, and headbutts. So the straight blast, think of it this way. There's two different ways we can do it. You can kind of talk about maybe doing it like the Rocky Balboa method, okay, or the Pistons method. I want a combination of the both, okay? So what I'm doing is that I'm punching, but I'm moving in a circular motion just like such. I'm keeping the elbows in, so I'm not punching like this, and I'm coming right here in a circular motion, so as I punch, I'm striking right at the end just like this. I'm gonna bring Casey out here so I actually have a target to strike. All we're doing is we're punching just like such, just like this, okay? Once again, elbows are not out, they are down inside, and they're coming right down to the center line. So I'm not punching off to the side here, I'm not punching off the side here, I'm just punching right down the center line. Why are we using the center line, and why is that so important? Well, because that is the angle, that is the line that I'm putting the most pressure on the person. If I go ahead and start blasting off to the side a little bit, that decreases the pressure in most cases. By going ahead and aligning my center line with their center line, I'm having my maximum amount of momentum go right down his center line or his center of gravity, and that is so important. So as we do this technique, I want to make sure that we go ahead and we have the hand motion right, but also the foot motion right. There's two different ways that I've seen this done. The first way is by using maybe a little bit more of a step slide. So all we're doing is we're kind of step sliding as we do this. What I like the second method by putting a little bit of track and field into it. So all we're doing here is that I'm stepping foot over foot, moving on in as I'm punching. If I bring Casey back out here again, the step slide method looks like this, and I want you to kind of critique it in your mind. Does that seem realistic? Does that seem athletic? Probably not. So let's throw a little bit of foot over foot, a little track and field in there. So if I have Casey on in here, now I'm going here and I'm punching as I'm running. What you're gonna find when we blast with that kind of footwork is we have much more power, much more forward momentum, much more pressure that we're putting on our opponent. So as Casey comes on in here, we wanna step, we wanna make sure that we're rotating right here and then punching right at the end. Why that little snap on the end is so important is because this is not putting a whole lot of pressure on. Remember I said the Rocky Balboa method? Yes, we want the circular motion of the Rocky Balboa method, okay? But what I want is, I want that circular motion to come in just like this. I also talked about putting like a piston method in there, and that's really where that little punch right at the end comes on in. So if we put everything together, the footwork, the motion, the circular motion right here, and a little bit of a strike right at the end, that's what we come up with right here. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put a full straight blast right on Casey, and you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna see this in full motion. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, you take a break. Now, if you go ahead and you ask Casey, how did that feel? What was his experience? Unfortunately, right now, he's in the restroom right now because the punches were so intense that they went through the mask and went ahead and cut his nose. Imagine what would happen if he would not have a helmet on. What he simply said was, he said, hey, listen, I just felt overwhelmed. I felt like I couldn't see anything, and that is what we want from the straight blast. We want to put on so much pressure on this person right here that they can't see, they're feeling obviously a whole lot of pain, and when that happens, they're on the defensive, not the offensive. And that's what I love about the straight blast. The straight blast automatically puts somebody in a defensive, not only position, but also mindset as well. So where does that lead us? Where does that help us? Well, we could simply straight blast in, push the person over and get the hell out of the way. Or if we want to, we can straight blast in, get into close quarters, and we can end the fight even more brutally using our close quarter moves. There's a lot of different scenarios that we can go ahead and we can use with the straight blast, whether it is to enter on in or to go ahead and follow on up. And all I want to do is just kind of show a couple of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Mark out here, and what he's going to do is show how we can go ahead and use this as a tool to get into close quarters. So all we're doing is, when Mark is here, I am blasting on in and I'm locking on up. That's all we're doing. A lot of people are gonna say, well, what happens if someone's arms are in the way? All we can do is we just go ahead and do a little bit of what's called a jut sound move. We pull the arms down and that'll help us getting on in there. So as we go here and I'm straight blasting, his arms are up, boom. I go ahead and I pull down and I grab the neck. That's all we're doing. But that allows us to get into close quarters where now, if I want to take the person down to the ground, if I want to headbutt the person, really the options are limitless. So all we want to do here is practice going from this transition into this transition right here. So we practice that over and over again. Once we're in there, like I said, the sky's the limit. Close quarters, push the person over, take them down to the ground, do whatever you guys need to do. So now we want to go ahead and we talk about how do we get into the straight blast. You know, could I go ahead and if, let's say Mark comes on in here, could I go ahead and just parry a shot and then go right into the straight blast? Absolutely, I could. But what I like to do is I like to inflict a little shot of pain before we go ahead and start blasting down someone's center line. So if Mark comes on in here, maybe he comes on in and I go ahead and kick in the groin. Once I kick in the groin, then I blast on in. Maybe I eye jab, maybe I give a little shin kick. What does that look like? So if he comes on in, even if he punches right here, boom, I can go ahead and I can do that shin kick, which would lead to this straight blast right here. So whatever you guys want to do, whether it's just kind of dodging or bobbing and weaving a punch or getting out of the way of a kick and then blasting on in, or if we want to go ahead and inflict a shot of pain and use that as an entry point to get in to the straight blast, once again, the options are limitless. What I would really advise you guys to do is work with a handful of them and see what kind of combination or what kind of transition you guys like. Do you like to inflict a shot of pain? You know, are you good at moving around, bobbing and weaving, that we can go ahead and get out of the way of a punch and then just do the 50-yard dash right down this person's throat? All those are, once again, options that you can work with. Find your favorite, work on your favorite, and don't forget to have fun. Hey guys, listen, I'm training, but you better be subscribed to this channel, guys. We are always uploading brand new information. We cover so many different topics within this channel. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. We cover everything from weapons to mass attack defense, kickboxing, close quarters. Well, there's really a topic we don't cover when it comes to self-defense, so make sure you subscribe to this channel now.